Thank you to our sponsors. Platinum sponsor, Gravity Forms. Build accessible, powerful WordPress forms with Gravity Forms. Flexible tools for creators, developers, and teams of all sizes. Platinum sponsor, WP Engine. WP Engine provides the most relied upon and trusted WordPress products for businesses, brands, and agencies of all sizes. Platinum sponsor, Woo. WooCommerce is the open-source e-commerce platform built on WordPress, helping merchants worldwide sell, manage, and grow their businesses. Gold sponsors, Ally Web Accessibility. Equalize Digital, websites for everyone. GoDaddy, Green Geeks Web Hosting, Yoast. Silver sponsors, Aardvark, Code Geek, Your Vision, Our Talent, One Team, Kinetic Iris, Kinsta, Pressable, Second Melody. Bronze sponsors, Nine Planets Hosting, Engage, Draw Attention, Multidots, NerdPress, OSAM Studio, AusEY, Australian Web Accessibility Initiative, Progress Planner, Quality Logic, Sharp, Simply Schedule Appointments, SiteGround, Stellar WP, Termageddon, Web Yes.
Welcome to WordPress Accessibility Day 2025. My name is Alicia St. Rose from WP with Heart. Thank you for joining us for Technical Checklist, Testing WordPress Themes and Plugins for Accessibility with Rodrigo Ibrahim. Rodrigo is a digital accessibility consultant with over a decade of experience ensuring technology is inclusive and usable for everyone. He is a member of the International Association of Accessibility Professionals and has delivered talks at major tech events such as TDC Brazil, PHP Conference Brazil, and Google Developer Group meetups. Rodrigo combines deep technical expertise with a passion for promoting accessibility standards, helping organizations build a more inclusive digital world. Please feel free to add your questions in the Zoom Q&A section, and we'll answer them at the end of the session. Use the chat to connect with the other attendees.
Hello everyone, I'm Rodrigo Ibrahim. I'm a developer with over 15 years of experience, and for the last few years, my true passion has been digital accessibility. I'm going to show you a simple checklist based on the Brazilian accessibility standards and how you can use it in WordPress to create websites that truly work for everyone. Okay. So, our goal today is simple: ensuring WordPress accessibility for all. This isn't just a nice slogan, it's the truth. Web accessibility isn't just about design. It's about deciding who can actually use your website. Think of it as a bridge that connects your content to your users. If that bridge is broken, we leave people out, but when we build it well, we welcome everyone. So, what we will do in this session? We will give you a practical checklist based on the Brazilian standard ABNT NBR 17225. You can use this tool to test WordPress themes and plugins for real accessibility. We're moving from talk to action. You will get clear steps to create a more inclusive WordPress experience. Let's begin. Now, let's go deeper into our topic. We know that accessibility is like a bridge connecting us to our users. But how do we make sure this bridge is built correctly? Here in Brazil, we have something very important called ABNT. Think of it as the official organization that creates the rule books for how things should be made in Brazil. It's like a guide that ensures quality and safety for everyone. For digital accessibility, the specific rule book we follow is called ABNT NBR 17225. This is our Brazil instruction manual for building accessible websites. The best part? This manual doesn't use complicated theories. It gives us a clear, practical checklist of what to do. It takes the big idea of accessibility for all and turns it into simple steps we can actually follow. In the next slides, I'll show you the most important items from this checklist. You'll learn exactly what to look for your WordPress themes and plugins to make sure they work for everyone. Let's explore these practical steps together. Let's talk about the foundation of our checklists. Our guide is built on strong rules from the world and from Brazil, okay? The most important goal rule is called WCAG. It's the international standard for accessibility. Here in Brazil, we have the ABNT, okay, standard, which follows the same as WCAG rules, okay? To make it easy to remember, WCAG is built on 4 simple principles. We call them POR principles, okay? Let me explain them very simply. Perceivable, okay? Can users see or hear the information? This includes things like text for images and captions for videos, okay? Operable. Can users use the website? For example, with a keyboard, not just a mouse, okay? Understandable. Is the content easy to understand? Is it clear and predictable? Okay. Robust. Can the website work well with different tools and technologies, like screen readers, for example? These 4 principles are the foundation for everything we will check. Okay? They guide all the technical points in our list. So let's look at how we apply them to WordPress. So this is the ABNT document, okay? The most important thing to understand is its direct connection to the international standard, the Web Content Accessibility Guideline. The Brazilian norm is essentially a Brazilian version of WCAG. It uses the same rules called success criteria, but presents them in a way that's tailored for our context. These rules are organized into 3 levels, which you can think of as levels of completeness. Okay, level A is the basic level. It's the absolute minimum. If you don't meet this, your site has critical barriers that will prevent people from using it at all. Okay, level AA is the next step. This is the level that most laws and regulations around the world require. It removes many more barriers and makes your site genuinely usable for a wide audience. This is our primary goal, okay? And level AAA is the highest level. It's the most complete but also the most difficult to achieve for every single part of a website. It's a fantastic idea, but level AA is what we realistically aim for. The entire purpose of section 5 of this document, which is based on these levels, is very practical. To make sure people with different disabilities, whatever related to vision, hearing, movement, or understanding, can actually use a website successfully and independently. So this document isn't just a theory, it's a functional guide to create digital products that include everyone. Now, let's take a look how ABNT standard is practically organized. Okay, it's structured into clear actionable characters, each focus on a critical part of the user experience. Okay, this is the core of our checklist. Okay, for instance, uh, chapter 5.1 on keyboard interaction is fundamental. It's not just about using the tab key. It includes specific rules like ensuring a visible focus indicator so users always know where they are on the page. Okay. In 5.2, it says about images. This one. Okay. The standard gets very practical. Each, dif each differentiates between types of images. A decorative image should be hidden from a screen reader, while an informative one must have descriptive alt text that conveys the same meaning. Okay. The structure continues logical. Okay, headings. Okay, uh, ensure your content has a clear hierarchy, like a table of contents, or for instance 5.4 regions define the main areas of a page, like a header, main content, and footer. Okay. uh, Links and navigation. Okay. uh, uh, Links and navigation, make sure links are clear and predictable. Okay. 5.9 forms and data input are crucial, with rules for clear labels and error messages so everyone can submit information successfully. 5.11 use of colors. Okay, goes beyond uh, aesthetics, require sufficient color contrast so text is readable for users with low vision. And it covers, much more, from multimedia to animations. The beauty of this structure is that it turns the vast concept of accessibility into manageable, testable chunks. Each section gives us a specific area to focus and validate in WordPress projects. Okay, this organized approach is exactly what we've translated into our practical checklist. Okay, before we dive into specific rules, let me show the checklist. Okay, so this is the checklist we have in Brazil. Okay, I translated it to English, and we have these uh, items here. So we have keyboard interaction, images, header. So this is how this checklist is divided. Okay, so for each item we have several tests we need to do. Okay, so for instance, this is a requirement. Okay, visible focus indicator. So all elements have visible focus indicator. So we should answer yes, no. Okay, so we need to answer this. Okay, recommendations should we shouldn't look. Okay, only requirements. Okay, most of the recommendations they take AAA. Okay, that is not our focus here. So we can test going through each element that is a requirement and ask an answer yes, no, okay, or NA. Okay, so this is how it looks, the checklist. Of course, we can do some comments as well. Okay, so let me talk about this. Each item is clearly marked. The most important ones are the requirements. These are the essential rules you must follow. If you don't, your site will have barriers that prevent people from using it. Okay? Uh, then we have recommendations. They make the experience much better for users, but they are not mandatory for basic accessibility. Then, as the next step to create an excellent, inclusive website, when you are testing, okay, for each item, you will check one of these options. Meets. This means that item fully follows the rule. Everything is working correctly. Does not meet. This means that there is a problem here that needs to be fixed. Okay? Not applicable. This means the item doesn't apply to the page or component that we are testing. Okay? And finally, there is a comments field. This is where you can write notes, explain situations, or paste a link to the code that needs to be fixed. It's very useful for your team to understand what to do. This simple structure requirement recommendation meets does not meet and comments is what makes your checklist powerful and actionable tool. Okay, now let's see the structure and look at the first and most important set of rules. Okay, keyboard interaction. Okay, now let's talk about keyboard navigation. Okay, I'm going to talk only about the requirements. Let's talk about 5.1.1 visible focus indicator. This is something crucial. When you press the tab to move through a website, you need to see a clear highlight around the link, button, or form field URL. Okay? This highlight is called a focus indicator. It's a little light that shows when you are. Without it, keyboard users are lost. The rule is simple. Every clickable thing must show this highlight when you tap on it. Okay? Let's move to 5.1.4, predictable focus order. Okay? When you press tab, the focus should move in a logical order. It should go from top to bottom and left to right. Just like reading a book. Okay? It should jump around the page. Uh, it shouldn't jump around the page randomly. If you are filling out a form, the focus should go from the first name field to the last name, to the email, in a predictable sequence. This makes the website easy to understand and to use. Another very important rule, let's talk about 516, okay, focus trap. A user should never ever get stuck. They must always be able to tab into a part of the page and, just as importantly, tab out of it. A common place where this happens is inside a pop-up window or a menu, for instance. If you can't escape it using the keyboard, that's a keyboard trap. And it makes the website completely unusable. Now, let's talk about pop-ups that appear when you tab to a button or link. Okay, we are talking about 518, persistent and additional content. Says that if a pop-up appears because of keyboard focus, it must stay visible. It can't just disappear after a few seconds. It has to stay until the user intentionally moves away or closes it. Okay? And how do they close it? That's covered by 519. Okay? Dismissible additional content. There must be an easy way to close that pop-up without having to move the keyboard focus. The skip key is that standard way to do this. This gives the user full control of the content. Finally, for keyboard shortcuts, 5111, this one, okay, is a key rule. If your website uses a single letter shortcut, like in press S to search, it can cause problems for people who use speech recognition software. Because when they say S, it might trigger the shortcut instead of typing the letter. So, the rule says that if you have a single key shortcut, you must let users turn it off, change it, or make it only work when a specific part of the page is selected. Okay? So, just to recap, the key requirements for keyboard are clear, visible, focus so you know where you are, a logical tab order that makes sense, no traps where you can get stuck, controllable pop-ups that stay open and it can be closed with the escape key, okay, and shortcuts that don't cause accidental actions. And these are the functional rules that make a website navigable for everyone who relies on a keyboard. Okay, now let's talk about one of the most common elements on any website. Let's talk about images, okay? They make a site beautiful and help explain things, but for users who are blind or have a low vision, that information is completely lost if we don't describe it, okay? That's where these rules come in, okay? All of these are requirements, meaning they are essential, okay? So let's go to 521, okay? Alternative text for content images, okay? This is the most basic rule. If an image covers important information like a graphic, a photo of a product, or an infographic, okay, it must have a text description called alt text, okay. This description is read by screen readers, so everyone understands what the image shows. Okay, now let's move to 5.2.2. Alternative text for functional images. Okay, if an image is used as a button or a link, the alt text must describe the action, not the picture. Okay, for example, if magnifying glass icon for search should have alt text say search, not magnifying glass. This tells the user that what will happen if they click on it. Okay. Then we have the opposite situation with 5.2.3. Okay, alternative text for decorative images. If an image is purely for decoration and does not add any information like a stylistic border on a background graphic, it must be marked as decorative. Okay, we do this by giving it empty alt text. Okay, this tells the screen readers to completely ignore it. Okay, which helps users focus on the important content. Okay, now jump for 5.4, descriptions for complex images. Okay, some images are too complicated for a short alt text. A detailed chart, a map, or a technical diagram needs more explanation. The rule here is that you must provide a short description in the alt text and then detailed, longer description right next to the image or on a linked page. This ensures that complex information is fully available to everyone. Okay, a very important rule, okay, that is the next 5.2.5, images of text. In general, you should never use an image of text. Why? Because text in an image cannot be resized by the user. It often has poor contrast, and screen readers can't read it. If you absolutely must use an image of text, like for a logo, the alt text must contain the exactly same words that are shown in the image. And finally, 5.2.6, alternative text for image maps. If you have a single image with multiple clickable areas, each of those clickable spots must have its own alt text that describes where that link will take you. Okay? So, to recap, uh, the key requirements for images are describe informative images, name the action for functional images, hide decorative images, provide both short and long descriptions for complex images. Avoid using images of text. Okay? Label every clickable area on an image map. Okay? By following these rules, make sure that the visual information on our site is available to every single user. Now, let's talk about something very simple but very important, lists. We use lists all the time on websites, and when they are coded correctly, they will help everyone understand and navigate content more easily. Both of these rules are requirements, okay? So, first, 551, lists semantics. This rule is about using the correct code. We can't just make a list by putting a dash or a number in front of each item. For a screen reader to understand it's a list, we must use the proper HTML tags. If it's a bullet list, where the order doesn't matter, we use the UL tag under unordered list. If it's a numbered list, where the sequence is important, we use the ordered list, the OL tag, okay? If it's a list of terms and definitions, we use the L tag, definition list. Using the right tag is what programmatically determinate semantics means. It tells the assistive technology, hey, this is a group of related items, which makes the content's structure much clearer, okay? And next, 552, use of lists. This rule is about using lists for their correct purpose. Lists should only be used to group together items that are truly related and of the same nature. Okay, for example, a list of ingredients in a recipe, the steps in a tutorial, a navigation menu. Okay, if you should not use lists markup just to indent text for visual styling, if the items are not logically a group, don't use a list. Using lists correctly ensures that the information is presented in a logical and predictable way. Okay? So, to recap, the key requirements for lists are very straightforward. Use the correct code, UL, OL, or the L tags for your list. Only use lists for grouping related items. So, by following these two simple rules, we make sure that lists are helpful tool for organization and not a source of confusion. To execute this checklist efficiently and consistently, we don't have to do it all entirely by hand. We can use powerful tools to help us implement and verify these rules much faster. Think of these tools not as a replacement for the checklist, but as your powerful assistants. They help you to spot technical issues instantly, so you can focus on expert judgment on more complex usability problems. I want to show you two essential tools that work hand in hand with our manual review. First, Wave tool. It gives you an immediate visual report right on the page, highlighting errors and structure elements. It's fantastic for a quick visual overview, helping you quickly spot and check manual items from your checklist. Let me do a test here. Let me click on it. Right, so what does it bring it to me? 21 errors, 0 contrast errors, some alerts, features, structure elements, and area. Okay, so let's go and see those errors. So there are 5 elements that are missing label, okay? Broken area references, right? So let's see what else. This is the navigation order. It's important to see. Structure, navigation. It's important always to check if there is an H1. Okay, it's also in the checklist. We must have at least one H1, okay, in the page. Now check if the order of the other headers are correct. Contrast. If there is any problem here, we can see it. Okay, let me show my page. So let's run wave here. Now we have 7 errors here. Okay, let's see. Missing alternative text. There are some images here that doesn't have alternative text. You see this one, for instance. We can also check the code of that image. If we want to take a detailed look on it, we can disable styles. So for inspection, it's much better to see the code, okay, and to see the errors. For instance, I have an error here. Another error here, okay. And this is something that we must use. Wave is a good tool to check for errors, right? Always following the checklist, okay? Checklist first, tools after, okay? All right, so this is something that we can do. Another tool that I'd like to show you is the tool from AmoWeb, okay? Besides the checklist that we can find the checklist here, okay? We also have the validator. Okay, this is the validator for AmoWeb. Okay, there are 3 different types of ways to push code. Okay, to validate a page here. First, using the URL. Okay, so let me get my site, for instance. Okay, I'll get the URL from my site, and then I paste here. Now the tool is checking my code, okay, the web code. All right, so there is a score here. Let me translate this so everybody can follow it. Okay, so there's a score. Uh, the items that passed in the test, some items to review manually, okay. It doesn't mean that they are wrong. It means that we need to check it manually, right? And one not acceptable, okay. So here I found 7 images on the page that do not have the necessary alternative text equivalent, okay. There are the images that we saw before, okay, that doesn't have an alternative text, right? I found one image on the page where it auto has more than 100 characters. Okay, so things that we need to check manually, all right? There is another way to check. Let me turn back. That is by inserting HTML code, okay? By inserting HTML code, you need to get the code here. Okay, and paste here. It will do the same process, okay? right? There are some differences in the code from the handled one and the one that it gets through the URL, so the score is less, right? So the process is the same, okay? And finally, I'd like to show you a tool, okay, that can help users with assistive technology, right? This tool, okay, there are several tools in the marketing, okay. I'm going to talk about this one because I work with this one, okay, but in the marketing there are several tools that are work as assistive technologies, okay. This tool it, it helps people with several uh, uh, challenges, okay, to navigate. So we have a screen reader, okay. Once I uh, turn on it, it gets the page ready for screen readers. You see that the content, some content in my page has changed, okay. It causes it. This is the effect. We have a clear uh, focus on the elements, okay. It turns easy the navigation with keyboard, right? So uh, checklist, I'd say to finalize here, I'd say use the checklist. It will really help you understand and go through uh, accessibility to turn the site accessible, okay. The second part, I'd say use those tools such as Wave, Web, or whatever uh, tool that does this kind of validation, okay. And that's it. Thank you so much uh, for the time.
Wow, thank you, Rodrigo. Thank you so much for that. Really appreciate that. Even in another language, it's really momentous and ambitious to go through that WCAG. So thank you. So if anyone actually has questions, you can put them in the Q&A. And we'd rather have you do it there. And not in the chat. I actually had a question or two while you were going through this. One of them, because I did notice in the first example, it was in Portuguese. So I'm wondering, what are some of the challenges? Because I mainly am focused on English. I never even think about another language when I'm working with accessibility. And what are the challenges having a language that's not actually the lingua franca or whatever. It's like, are there things you have to consider with accessibility?
Yes, actually, like here in Brazil, we have so many foreign words. Okay, some of those words are already familiar to us in Brazil, like sales, like off. But when we talk about screen readers, okay, it's important to uh, understand in what language is that word, that foreign word. For the screen readers, read it with the right accent, okay? So it's one challenge here in Brazil when we have some parts of the text in a foreign language, for instance, English, okay? So we need to also, there's some rules that we need to follow on WCAG that can make it happen, you know, like mark as a tag for English word, for instance, in that place, and the screen reader will read it with the right accent. So this is one of the challenges.
Okay. And then another question. Let me see if let me look into the Q&A. We have something. I'm gonna like go back and forth. So I have another question, but we're gonna get to the actual Q&A. What's something you would recommend to someone beginning in accessibility? Where to start?
Well, I think the most important thing to understand in accessibility, talking about accessibility, is to understand the challenge, the different challenges that people have. Okay, uh, it's really nice. For instance, we have lots of rules in WCAG. Okay, but no one is better to say that rule works or not with someone with some disability. Okay, so what is the best contrast, for instance, in a text in the background? Actually, not the rule gives us just an idea what should it be, but the best person to know what is the best one is someone that has difficulty to see it. Okay, so we need to think not only on the rules. We need to think. We need to live accessibility, not on just study accessibility. So understand the rules are really important. Okay, but live accessibility is more important. For
Like the
instance,
comfort,
yeah,
like
yes, right.
someone's comfort.
For for instance, like an image, uh, the rule says that an alternative text should have at least 100 characters, for instance. But uh, it's not okay to say that any specific test is good or not. You need to feel it. You need to have the feeling that it is a good text or not.
I get you.
Mhm.
We have another question, and that last question was from Emilio. So we have one from an anonymous attendee, and they want to know, is there a way to show Google that your website is accessibility ready? That's an interesting question.
Mhm. Well, Google talking about a good position on the search, right? Because Google validates that. Okay, so make sure that meta tags are okay. Alternative text, if there is semantic on your code. Okay, so if you want to place a list of items, use the semantic elements. Okay, uh, make sure that there is no not semantic elements like third party components, for instance. I know this is a big challenge on WordPress, but make sure that those components are semantic. I think this is the most important thing.
Okay, and we have about 2 minutes, and Amy has asked a really cool question because I was actually curious about this too. She says, I don't know if this fits the work you do, but would you like to comment about the accessibility testing report package you deliver with all test results, and what do you include?
Sorry,
So
I have
what
a
she's
big.
asking, what she's asking is, when you have all your testing done, how do you package up all those results? And what do you include when you're giving it to a client?
Okay, yeah. Actually, I used to for myself. I used to collect all possible evidence, okay, like screenshots, and also that report that I showed. We can save it, okay, into a PDF. So it will be all items, all required or Yes, all required items will be saved in a PDF, so with comments, and I also use it to pack some images for reference.
Oh, wow, that's awesome. It's like an accessibility Figma.
Mhm.
All
Yeah.
right, so I believe that was the last question, and we have to I want to thank you, actually, Rodrigo, for really extensive presentation. Thank you so much for going through that. And you can continue the conversation in chat or social media, everybody. And you can use the hashtag WP Alley Day and WPAD 2025. We also appreciate if you go to the 2025 wpaccessibility.day/feedback to provide anonymous feedback for our speakers on their presentation. You can enter to win a t-shirt while you're there. Stay tuned for Aslan Accessibility in WordPress, themes and plugins for the whole deaf Australian community, coming up next with Sean Pua. And that's at 4 a.m. UTC. And while you're waiting, don't forget to visit our sponsors page to grab virtual swag. It's actually pages to grab virtual swag and enter for a chance to win great prizes. And we'll see you in the next session.